Happy Friday, NBA fans. It's Trish at Blazing Hoops. There's 10 exciting contests in the NBA tonight. Point spreads are extremely high, and it might be a good night to put some money on some underdogs. So we'll go right into the first two games up tonight. First up, we have the Washington Wizards traveling to Orlando for the Magic. I don't agree with the spread at all in this game. I think the Wizards are going to take this and take it by a decent margin. They're playing so much better than Orlando. They're 7-3 of their last 10. Orlando's 3-7 of their last 10. So I expect the Wizards to win this game tonight. Next up, the game of the day. Miami goes to Cleveland to take on the Heat. Miami's lost their last two on the road, which is, typical. It's hard to win on the road. But I think that it's a pretty easy win for them tonight against Cleveland, and I think they'll more than cover the spread. Next up, the New York Knicks at the Brooklyn Nets. Of course, Brooklyn's going to win this game, but will they cover this spread? I don't think so. So I would go with the Knicks on this one. We love to bet on the Knicks, right? I don't see Brooklyn covering this tonight. And then next up, this was a really hard one to even pick because Toronto, if you just look at the numbers on the paper, Toronto should win this, but Houston's at home and Toronto's coming off a rare loss for them. Both teams are well rested. I expect this to be a great contest. I would stay away from betting it. Next up, we have a game that I almost made the game of the day over the Miami-Cleveland game just because this point spread is only 1 point. And I have a high level of confidence that Sacramento is going to take this game. Memphis play has been atrocious lately. They're 1-9 in their last 10. Sacramento's sort of even in their last 10 games on their wins and losses. But I do think that they're a much stronger team than Memphis. And considering the way Memphis has been playing lately, I will be shocked if they end up winning this game, but I would definitely go with Sacramento here. Next up, the Clippers taking on the Bulls. Clippers, a way stronger team. Expect them to win. I expect them to cover the spread. I think this is like a no-brainer game that we're going to see the Clippers easily take this one. The next two games I would stay away from. Detroit travels to Dallas to take on the Mavericks, and Detroit's one of my favorite teams. I'm from Michigan. I would love to say Detroit's going to win, but I don't think that's realistic. Dallas is very dominant at home, and I think so. I'm going to predict that they'd win this, but not cover the spread. So we'll see what happens. I wouldn't bet this game. I'd stay way away from it. It's going to be too close of a matchup. Then Milwaukee and Charlotte. I want to say bet Milwaukee, but I don't know. I don't have the confidence that they're going to cover this spread. I made a prediction a couple nights ago that Milwaukee was going to cover like an 11-point spread, and they won by 8. So I'm hesitant I wouldn't bet this game. I would be hesitant to bet it with Milwaukee or with Charlotte because it could really go either way. Milwaukee will, 99%. Chances are they're going to win the game, but it's 50-50 on whether they're going to cover the spread, so I wouldn't bet it. We have the Phoenix Suns and the Denver Nuggets here, and I'm making a prediction that Denver's not going to cover this spread, that they're probably going to win by 13 or 14. I wouldn't bet this game. I'd stay away from it. There's an incentive, a big incentive, because this point spread is so high, 15 points, meaning that in order for a bet on Denver to win, Denver has got to win the game by 16 points. They've done that all season long. It's not every game, but they've had many, many games where they've won by more than 16 points. But it's just too risky to place money on that, in my opinion. The point spread is that high because the powers that be, the odds makers, are trying to incent everyone who's betting on games to put money on Phoenix here. It can go either way, so it's a risk whether you bet Denver or it's a risk if you bet Phoenix. So I'd stay away from the game. Next up, the Minnesota Timberwolves at the Utah Jazz. Here, I do believe that the Jazz is not going to cover this point spread. I looked at how much they cover their point spreads by when they win at home, and I just don't have confidence that they're going to take this by 11 points. That's what they would have to do for a bet on Utah to win. They'd have to win the game by 11. I don't think that's going to happen. I would safely say that you can bet that Minnesota is going to lose this game by less than 10 points here. All right, that concludes Friday night. It's going to be an exciting one. I can't wait to start watching games and seeing scores, and I'm excited for tonight's outcomes. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I appreciate all of you.